One Gospel, version 2, part 99. Jesus heals an Edematous man at a Pharisee's house. Luke 14, 1 through 24. And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on a Sabbath, that they watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him who had edema. And Yeshua answering spoke to the Torah experts and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? But they kept silent. And he took hold of him and healed him, and let him go. And answering them he said, Which of you, having a donkey or an ox that has fallen into a pit, will not immediately pull him out on the Sabbath day? And they could not answer him again regarding these things. And he spoke a parable to those invited, when he noted how they picked out the chief places at the table, saying to them, When you are invited by anyone to a wedding feast, you shall not sit down in the chief place at the table, lest one more honorable than you may have been invited by him. And he who invited you and him come and say to you, Give this one your place. And then you begin with shame to take the lowest place. But when you are invited, go and sit down in the lowest place, so that when he who invited you comes, he may say to you, Friend, go up higher. Then you shall have glory in the presence of those who sit at the table with you. Because whoever exalts himself shall be brought low, and he who brings himself low shall be exalted. And he also said to him who invited him, When you make a dinner or a supper, do not call your friends, nor your brothers, nor your relatives, nor rich neighbors, lest they also invite you back, and a recompense come to you. But when you make a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and you shall be blessed, because they cannot repay you. For you shall be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. And when one of those who sat at the table with him heard these things, he said to him, Blessed is he who shall eat bread in the kingdom of God. And he said to him, A certain man made a great supper and invited many. And he sent his servant at supper time to say to those who were invited, Come, because all things are now ready. And they began with one accord to all excuse themselves. The first said to him, I've bought a field, and I need to go and see it. I ask you to have me excused. And another said, I bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I am going to examine them. I ask you to have me excused. And another said, I married a wife, and because of this I cannot come. And that servant came and reported to his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go forth quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in here the poor, and the maimed, and the lame, and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as you have commanded, and there is still room. And the Lord said to the servant, Go forth into the highways and paths, and compel others to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say to you, that none of those men who were invited shall taste of my supper.